That'll come in due time. Trust
Oh,
me.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
It's like I started out on TikTok, and I kind of started just showing people what I was building, like the woodwork I was doing. Then it turned into instructional videos, and now it's between 50 and 100 messages a day, people wanting to know like woodworking tips, or they're like, hey, you should do an instructional video on this, or you should build something like this, and yada yada yada. So I do have a YouTube channel, but I'm trying to make that quality a little better because there's a lot of competition on YouTube. There's a lot of competition on TikTok, but
there's like a billion downloads though, so
yeah,
it helps. And by the way, everyone, this is Stephen Kennedy. Like it's 2 minutes and 30 seconds in deep, and we've just been chilling, and I'm just like, introduce the man. So, but other than starting your YouTube channel, go ahead and tell everybody else just a little bit more about yourself.
Well, I'm a U.S. Army veteran. I did 4 years active duty, and then I did some reserve time. I did 3 years in the reserves, and kind of just really got back into woodworking seriously. I did it for a while, for about, I'd say 4 or 5 months, but my previous career never allowed me to really take advantage, and to have the time to do it. Now I'm fortunate enough to have a job where I work from 8 to 4, every day. So that allows me to work, 4, 5, 6 hours in the evening time, that's a lot of time,
Yeah.
And
I mean,
yeah. So it's
really
a big difference.
Even with my hour drive to work and back, to work and then the hour back, with the 8 to 5 day job, I worked night shift for like the past 2-3 years, and I'd never be able to do this. But just the 2 or 3 to 4 hours I get before I need to go to sleep and wake up the next day, it's honestly surprising how much I can get done. Like, I could do an episode every day if I needed to, but I need spacings for editing and stuff. But hell, maybe one day I'll get there, and maybe one day we'll both won't need these day jobs because with 16,000 followers, that's you might not. That might be coming up pretty close.
16,000 followers in a month and 2 weeks. I'm going to hit 100K, I hope, within if you do the math, less than a year, I'll hit 100K.
And that's another thing, 100K, at least for TikTok, that's not a lot of subscribers. Nope. But as a business owner, you keep sending those videos, I may have 30 followers or 30 reactions, but if 30 people walked into my store, I'd flip shit. But 100,000 for a single dude operation, huge.
Yes, and the support that I get from TikTok is ridiculous.
You could do paid video. Tutorials. I've seen so many different people. I've created this new series. It's $10, and if half of you get it, that's my money for the year. So and the live streaming, I've seen, I saw one dude, I was live streaming this game, this brick and mortar game store owner, and then someone donated $200 worth of stuff on the live stream. I was like, holy shit, that is, let me get stream capabilities.
I did a live stream. I've done 2 live streams, but I did my first live stream. People were just donating, they were giving me the gifts, how you get gifts on TikTok. They were giving me stuff like crazy. I couldn't keep up with it.
Dude, that's it's hard. It's hard to fathom how much stuff like that happens. But when it does, you're just like, all right, let's keep it going. I love this.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. People are so interested in the stuff that I'm doing, and to me, it's when I'm doing woodworking, I'm doing something, I'm like, well, no one's going to like this. Then I make a video and it blows up. And then I make a video on something where I'm like, oh, people are going to want to know this. And then it flops. So it's hit or miss.
Yeah, it really is. I also noticed one video you were talking about it was a comment from this one girl, and you're like, well, you have to use the popular music to get the tractions. And and before that, I was kind of interested because I saw you use the Steven Universe music, because I know that's a real popular one. And I'm like, there's no way this grizzled Army veteran, or whatever branch you served in, Army, good. There's no way he knows what Steven Universe is, and if he does, that's wild. So I was like, yeah, it's because there's 20 million videos based on that song.
Exactly, and it took me. I know exactly. You're talking about the Jeff Bezos sound that I used, and
yeah,
only a few people gave me flack for that, but I don't understand, if you're going to be a content creator, you have to know the trends. And yes, I could have turned the volume all the way down, but didn't, because you can pick a popular sound, turn the volume all the way down just so that it gets featured on the FYP.
Exactly.
But no one wants to see me doing woodwork in 10x speed with no sound.
Oh, no.
I mean, that's not going to catch any attention. So,
I mean,
I'd let it go over my head. I don't listen to those people.
If anything, the comments are just helping you get more traction with the algorithm.
Exactly. They don't understand that if you give me hate comments or if you give me good comments, you're still boosting my video.
Exactly.
But that's another thing. It took me forever. I've spent the last 2 years learning algorithms for Facebook, Instagram, which Facebook, I mean, Facebook is nothing. Instagram was a little hard for me. TikTok really, I really had to do research.
I mean, honestly, I mean, you didn't know, so you said you had to do or didn't have to do research?
I had to do research.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's because that's kind of how, a little bit how it is, because a lot of people have easily realized, and even with your research, and I have no doubt that it did take a little bit of learning curve, it really isn't that difficult once you get used to it. I mean,
yeah,
it's a lot to get your foot in the door, I'm sure, but once you're in and out, it's really easy to get back in there, because you've got some of these people, there's this one dude, I can't remember this kid's name, but he does this where he'll walk into a room, and then a copy of himself will be the ocean is made of salt, water, and fish, so that means that the ocean is a soup, and he'd be like, what? He created a million followers, and I'm like, off these videos. And I say stupid respectively because they are hysterical, but they are anywhere else you've been that guy's crazy. He'd be the dancing guy on the side of the street. The ocean is soup, and everybody call the police. But
yeah.
On TikTok, it's 1 million followers.
Yeah, I mean, what threw me off on TikTok was there was, they give you the best times to post. So in the beginning, I would go off those times, but it really doesn't matter because the way TikTok does the batches, they'll start you out with so many of your followers, then they see how they engage, then you get moved to the next level, so on and so forth. So if you're not reaching your followers, if they're not commenting and sharing and everything, then you're not going to make it far.
Yeah, I mean, and I really like that, because I mean, if TikTok wasn't around, and like I was saying at the beginning, I'm booked till February, and I've said this on other podcasts too, there's no way I would be able to find, maybe if I went on YouTube and found up and coming users, but even those have 20,000 followers already, 20,000 subscribers already, and there's no way that they're going to they'll be oh, you have 10 subs, great, no thank you. But I mean, you can you, I mean, I think you first scrolled through my page with a couple of hundred, maybe.
Yeah, I was low.
And then I was just and then I go to my Instagram, and it's just that, because if you go to somebody's TikTok page and they have 10,000 followers, you go to their Instagram and it's 5,000 or 2,000 followers.
Yeah.
So So the translation's really weird there, but once like an actual traction gets picked up, because some people are just like, it's, oh, that's interesting. Like, just because I know he's like, he's a small sub, and maybe one day I can say I was one of his first 10,000. But it is like, and I've never had like a bad experience with TikTok. Like, I've gone to YouTube, I've like messaged them through their emails and all that, and then they're like, oh, we'll get back to you. Never. But here, it's, you're given so much attention that you're not used to. It's almost like, because like half the people I've interviewed and will interview, this is their first podcast. They're like, I'm finally on a podcast. This is so cool, even if it's small. This has never happened. And I'm like, this is great. They need attention, and I will give it to them 100%. So I'm really looking forward to your stuff, and just keep doing this, because like you said, it really is like a fantastic medium to get on and grow with.
Yeah. And this is my first podcast also. But, you know, since you mentioned that, 16,000 followers on TikTok, like we said, that's not a lot, because, you know, there's accounts that are, I saw an account today that was like 5.4 million, and it was literally just comedy, which is what people like. You know, people love that on TikTok, but people want to learn stuff too, and that's the benefit to my page. But
yeah,
so 16,000 followers isn't a lot, but people message me, and they write their message as if, you know, I'm never going to see it, as if I'm never going to open it or respond to them.
Oh yeah,
yeah, it happens all the time. They'll be like, you'll probably never see this, yada yada yada. But I love your videos. Thank you so much for doing the tutorials and stuff. And then I respond, and they're like, oh my God, you messaged me back.
I did it. I'm talking to a famous person. Because 16,000 is still a lot of...
I mean, if 16,000 people showed up in my yard, I would die.
I'd change. I would leave states. Like, I would leave.
Yeah.
This is some kind of reckoning I don't deserve.
Yeah, but I can see where they're coming from, you know, because everyone's been in that position where they've messaged someone on some social media platform, and you know they're not going to respond.
Yeah. I mean, it does happen. It's unfortunate, but it happens a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the trick is to always stay humble, and that's what I always try to represent on my TikTok page as well, because there was a lot of people on TikTok, and I'm not going to mention their names because, you know, just to be respectful. But there's a lot of people that I watched when TikTok first came out, you know, because I think what boosted TikTok the most was COVID. Everyone was locked up in the house, so TikTok blew up. But there was a lot of people that I watched on there, and I watched them when they had like hardly like as many followers as I do. And now they have like a couple million, and they're not the same person.
I mean, I remember, and you've probably seen this because, again, it made its rounds. You remember that fat kid that was doing push-ups? He's like, 5 is all I can do, but I'm going to keep. And then everybody's just like, go, fat kid, you can do it. And apparently there was this like Marine, like personal trainer that like made a stitch with him. He's like, I contacted this kid, and he was all about it until somebody with a check mark wanted to do it, and he dropped me. So he's here for the clout, so fuck that kid. And I was like, yeah, no, I can see the power getting to him like that, because, I mean, it made his subscribers, I mean, especially for, like, and I say kid with all due respect for what he's accomplished, but a child, like, you can't let that kind of power go to your head, but it happens almost instantaneously.
Yeah, it's almost as if that's, you know, what they're wanting to happen, and that's not what I want.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe at the beginning, I mean, I completely believe, because, and actually, I don't really know, because back when I was a kid, and certainly back when you were a child, if there was a fat kid like that and he got any kind of attention, there were no ulterior motives. He was like, people are talking to me. Thank God I can finally be a normal person with normal friends and not be all by my lonesome. But now you have these people that, not that they should be in that position, but in any other point in history would probably be in that position. And then you're like, they're like super famous, like they're almost like the token fat friend in a really popular group, so they think they are all that. It's a really weird, like, I've never seen it before. So that kid honestly could be just as humble, and it's like he was being as sincere as he could be. But there's also the possibility where he was just like, all right, so this is how I do it. I posted it this time to get the most reactions, put a little bit of wheel in my voice to get that sympathy. I mean, you'll never know, because anything's possible.
And that's the power of social media.
Oh my God, it's so fucking scary. But at the same time, I just need just a tiny bit of that power. Just tiny, itty bitty little bit of that power.
Well, if you're booked out till February now, I mean, this is just the beginning. I mean,
Right.
There is, how many people use TikTok? Billions.
Billions.
I mean, it's funny. I look at my analytics, because I check it every day, and it's
right.
like every day, the viewers that are male go up, because I'm doing woodwork, and I'm doing a lot of stuff that's not like the DIY. I'm doing is like big stuff, like I'm doing end tables now, and then I'm booked up for the rest of January, because I got like, so far this month I've sold 2, 4, 6, 7 farmhouse end tables. Yeah. And then
that's
I got
good.
a farmhouse L desk for an office, 2 bookshelves. Farmhouse is huge. It's like
huge comeback, and especially that one I saw where you like sanded down for the distressed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they love
That's
that
what
shit.
I'm working on now. I got another order, the same as
did.
the video you saw, distressed. But I will tell you this: distressed is coming to an end this year.
Oh, it is.
Modern, like clean looks are going to be in. That's where farmhouse is going. If you go to Kirkland's or Hobby Lobby, if you have any of those around you, they'll tell you what the trends are. Because you got to think. I listen to this guy on YouTube, and he has a podcast as well. It's 731 Woodworks. That's a guy you ought to put on your list to interview.
I'll look him.
Yeah, you need to look him up. He's big time, but he's humble, very humble. Like he always answers me when I message him. And you see my Instagram, I got like, I don't know, how many followers do I have? I don't even think I have 500 or 600, if that.
Yeah, if that.
It's like you look at my Instagram and you're like, oh my God, he's a nothing. And then you go to TikTok and it's like completely different.
Yeah.
But people that are on TikTok, they're scrolling through. They don't want to click a link to go to Instagram. I mean, maybe when they're bored, but in that moment, they want to see good content, like it, scroll.
Yeah. So speaking on that, people so it's not a very wild assumption to make that one of TikTok's more popular video, or one of their more popular features, are the 60-second videos. And now, especially with me now, definitely with me on announcing guests or making and especially on other comedy sketches, and probably with you because you'd be able to fit a lot more in there without speeding it up. What are your thoughts on the speculation that they're going to stretch the videos to 3 to 3.5 minute?
It's going to be a flop.
It's going to flop. You think so?
Yep. Because even my 15-second videos do really good. They do better unless it's something very something that grabs your attention right off the bat for the 60 seconds. You have to really get their attention in the first 10 seconds or you'll lose it in the next, 35, 40 seconds. Because if I go look at analytics for all of my 60-second videos, after about 35 seconds, they're done. Unless it's something really good.
Yeah, even myself, I'm like I know it's 60 seconds, but halfway through the video, I'm like, come on already, hit me with the punchline. And I mean,
Yeah.
and I'm like, wait, time out. You're listening to 3-hour podcast at work, and a 60-second video is tiring you out. There's something
Yeah.
like monkey wants banana now or something. I don't know what kind of part of my brain is telling me that needs to, like, I don't know. It is wild.
Well, on that 3-hour podcast, that you got 3 hours continuously of that. On TikTok, you're like, oh my God, it's like the next video is probably better. So whoop, just slide up, go on to the next one. And with me, I don't have a punchline, it's like I have to grab their attention right off the bat. I have to get it at the beginning or I won't get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, almost with all of them, like it's gonna be a struggle for me just to figure out how to open, like, because I don't really have like any kind of like comedy sketches or anything. Like I've got ideas, but I can't really do anything with it right now. But with announcing guests and everything, I'm lost. I don't really know where to start. But I mean, it's gonna have to be something, or I'm gonna lose the people. So we're just going. Oh,
well. It'll benefit me in ways because I have certain instructional videos where people don't want like part 1 and part 2. And I can't post part 1 at 8 o'clock in the morning and then post part 2 at 8:30 because it'll screw up my analytics. I have to post that part 1 at 8, and then they might have to wait 8 or 9 hours, because I have to post at my peak times or it's not going to get on the FYP.
Yeah.
So it may benefit a little bit, but I'm a little leery about it.
Yeah, I don't like those part 1 and 2 videos either. Those are like the same.
I just had a 7-part, part 1
God.
to part 7, and every one of them blew up. Every single one of them did great.
And you posted them on the. So now, if it's interesting, it'll blow up. So now, and you posted them separately at those peak times, correct?
Yes, and I even posted, I think, maybe 2 a day. So, that's like a span of 3.5 days.
Yeah, no.
For the 7-part video, I had a video that piqued interest in a particular thing that I use for my farmhouse tables that people want to know about. So I made a 7-part video, but I put the thing that they wanted to know about at part 7. So it builds up, that interest all the way to the 7th video. And then, they're more apt to watch all of them.
Okay.
So you got to be smart about it.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, how did you get into the woodworking business? Like, is that something you did as a child, and then it's like you wanted to get back into it for a hobby, and found out you could make money? What really started your journey with that?
I did woodworking in high school at the vocational school.
Yeah, that's what.
And I built bats every day for 2 years on the wood lathe. I never built anything. I made baseball bats for 2 years. So then, when I was little, my dad did woodwork, and he's actually he's really good at it, but I never did it with him either. This is something that I just picked up one day. I was like, you know what? I want to do woodwork. So me and my fiance, we got a house, and it has a basement. I'm hoping one day to upgrade to a shop because that basement's rough on my lungs. There's no ventilation, and all that sawdust is rough. But I really just picked it up. Pinterest was a huge help. My dog's here. She's never been on a podcast, so she's jealous. Sorry about that. But
yeah, you good.
I kind of just picked it up, out of nowhere, and it's so weird. It's just like I picked it up, and not to say that the first few things I built were perfect, but I went all out. Like one of my first major builds was a farmhouse dining room table, which some people classify as like one of the hardest things to build because it's so big.
Right.
So And then I had some issues from the military, like PTSD and stuff. And woodworking just really calms me down. So it takes me, it's like my nirvana, it takes me to a place where I'm not stressed. Every now and then I get stressed because now I'm trying to be more of a perfectionist on what I'm building, because, I'll never be able to do it as a job if I don't do it right. So done a lot of research, spent a little bit of extra money from my project money that I've set aside, to get better tools. Still working on that though, but yeah, so basically it's just something I just jumped into head first. Had a little bit of experience, in vocational school, and I was around it with my dad, but I never really built anything big till I was like 25, and I'm 27 now. And this is the first year that I've actually, this will be the first year that I've actually had time to take it super serious, like with orders and stuff. And all my orders, all my online orders come from TikTok, but all my big orders come from Facebook, from the marketplace.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So where are you getting these orders from? Because you live in, I believe it's West Virginia.
Yep.
Yeah. So are these orders that you're like, I mean, has someone from like California been like, I would love a table, like, or is it like everybody just like, oh, he's in West Virginia, I'm in West Virginia, let's get a table from him?
Well, it's been a mixture of both. I've had people from California that wanted to buy stuff off of me, but I don't currently have the knowledge on how to ship something so big, like without losing a lot of money.
The shipping would cost just as much as the product.
Exactly. So that's not worth it to me right now. All my orders at the moment are coming from West Virginia and Virginia. I am trying to expand, like deliver, in an area, so many miles, a radius, because honestly, people around my immediate area, like within 30 minutes around here, they can't afford, what I'm selling. They can't pay $250 for 2 end tables, which is way lower than the market price.
I was expecting $250 for a end table.
Yeah, well, that's usually what the price is.
Right.
But I've opened up my area and I'm offering delivery, and I charge like $50 if it's within so many miles, and then $75 if it's out of that range. But I've actually done better with that, because I'm talking to a client right now who actually lives about an hour and 30 minutes away. But they're wanting me to build a sink for a boathouse, which I've never done anything like that, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, and honestly, the delivery stuff, that's where it's at, because everybody's so DoorDash, Uber, Ship.
Yep.
Like, I mean, it's like really has like blown up. Like YouTube, TikTok, content creators, and small business delivery is like really, really where it's at right now.
Yeah, and I mean, you're buying a product that's custom made. It's made out of real wood, not fake MDF or anything like that. Yeah. And they're delivering it to you and setting it up. I mean, it doesn't get better than that.
So, with your experience with what you've been doing and selling, a lot of people have speculated, not even just speculated, it's clearly shown in the stock prices of like Home Depot, Lowe's, all these like DIY kind of esque stores, where a lot of people are speculating where you're sitting down in your house all day, and then maybe where it would be like you'd be out of the house for work, going to dinner with friends, and then like maybe you'd see it, but it's not that big of a deal because you'd go to bed in about an hour. A lot of people are sitting at their house, and this is a dull ass room. This room is boring. There's no character to it. Or that wall has a crack in it that I've noticed, but it's really getting on to me now. Would that be also something you would contribute to the success of your business currently? Just people sitting at the houses, and not only can they shop, but they also see how inadequate their house is, and this is where they're at right now. So they have to either get over it or do something about it.
Yeah, I would say most definitely. And also, social media helps a lot because people will see this, they'll see like the DIY stuff and they're like, oh man, I could do that. But then they go see the cost of a saw, they see the cost of
Yeah,
a sander, and they're like, well, I could just buy it and it'd be, I'd come out better. So,
yeah.
what's really helped a lot? HGTV, Fixer Upper, Flip This House, all that stuff. People are addicted to that stuff. I think Joanna Gaines has single-handedly contributed to the farmhouse lifestyle.
Oh, easily. Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
that's that's not even questionable. That's all they do over there.
yeah.
That's almost all they do.
Now, I do want to get out of the farmhouse trend. I don't, I'm going to still build stuff for people, but I want to learn to build more modern stuff as well because I know it's not going to be around forever and I want to be ready, when it falls through.
Yeah. Or at least it'll fluctuate and you want to diversify regardless.
Yeah, because I mean, it's taken me a good year to learn, proper farmhouse styles and the angles and everything. Because farmhouse woodwork has a lot of angles,
Yeah.
45-degree angles, 15-degree, and all that. So it took me a long time. Actually, one of my first tables, one of my first end tables is over here. I built it for my fiance. And then I built, those tables that you saw. I brought one up here to take a picture to put on Instagram. You may have saw it. And it brightened up the room. It made
Oh yeah.
everything look so much better. And it was so much nicer quality because, I've learned so much over the last, I've learned so much since I've been on TikTok, because I follow hundreds of woodworkers.
Yeah. And
I've
also
just
you're
learned so much.
more stuff just out of like I have like because just doing it by yourself, you may have competition, but it's not like you're gonna like sneak over to their shop because that's time you're wasting to drive there. But now that you've got them at the top palm of your hand, like at the breakfast on the toilet, like you can just scroll through and see your competition and the videos they put out, and it'll light a fire under you, definitely.
And you know what? The thing about like local DIYers here in the area I live, I noticed that you know they're they're doing it just to do it themselves, and then they'll try to sell it to flip a profit. But the I don't see the passion in the
No,
craftsmanship.
no.
And I mean, it's nice to be a DIYer, but it's also nice to learn to improve. I mean, I try to improve every day if I can. But I didn't used to be like that. I mean, I used to be one of those DIYers. I would slap it together and be like, "Oh, yep, it looks good." But
Done.
can't be successful like that, I don't think.
No, no, you can't. You can't
And
be
my
successful with.
fiance, she's very picky, so she really motivates me to do better. She keeps an eye on my furniture.
Absolutely. So now, what made you want to live in West Virginia? Was it something you just lived there, like something you just wanted to do? Because easily being someone in the military, like you've probably seen stuff. It's like West Virginia's like, ah. So what's keeping you in West Virginia?
What's keeping me in West Virginia? That's a good question because there's nothing here. I feel
Right.
like that I could do some, especially now, like seeing what I see on TikTok and stuff. The Midwest is the place to be. I see so many successful business owners in the Midwest, and you probably know that a lot of YouTubers, a lot of podcasters, everything, they live in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Um, and I've traveled most of the world. I've been overseas. I've been from West Virginia to California and most places in between. And I grew up in West Virginia, born and raised here, joined the military, went all over the place, came back to go to college, met my fiance, and we got a house here. So we're pretty much. I guess we'll probably be here. Maybe I wouldn't say the rest of our lives because you never know what's going to happen. But
Right.
I guess we'll be here for a while. But I feel like for the kind of work that I want to do, as an aspiring entrepreneur, and a business owner, hopefully one day a real legitimate business owner, I just feel like I'm going to be doing a lot of delivering, if you get what I'm saying, because no one local is going to want this stuff or be able to afford it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
So,
and even and you're right, like West Virginia, I mean, myself, I'm in Alabama, and I mean, it's not that I don't like doing the Skype Zoom interviews, because I like it, but like, it's good to get the conversation across, but there's no substitute from like having a person across a table. So there's no substitute, but also I'm like, what's the nearest airport? Montgomery, and who flies in from Montgomery? So like an hour and 30 minutes. Who am I going to get to fly into Montgomery, Alabama, and then drive down an hour, 30 minutes, do a 2-hour podcast, maybe take them to Montgomery for a hotel room and dinner, and then they fly out the next morning? That's maybe Atlanta, but not Alabama.
Well, yeah, I mean, my nearest airport's probably a little farther than that.
Jesus, yeah, just it's different.
I'm guessing 2 hours at least.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in the middle. I'm literally in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, and used to be these conditions for us would be death sentences. Like you can't make a TV show out in Alabama. You can't have a woodworking business in a area that can't afford your business. But I mean, especially, and I've kind of said this at the beginning with the coronavirus. I mean, people like California, New York, they're trying their damnedest to keep this thing under control, but their population density is so high that it's not going to work. So moving out to these like more suburban areas and like spreading out, I mean, that's probably what it's going to come to, in all honesty.
If I could ship the larger items that I make,
right,
I could quit my job tomorrow, because I have so many people in a day messaging me, asking me about my end tables, farmhouse kitchen tables, so on and so forth. If I could just ship the larger stuff out, I would be set. I could have already made, I don't know how much I could have made. I mean, the messages I get are crazy.
I mean, it really does have to bother you, because you said the person from California, they wanted a table. So they were probably, that's California money, wanting farmhouse, which is like real wood. So they were probably like, I've got $1,000 to throw around. And you're like, I was like 4, but okay. So, I mean, that's really got to like get you, right? Like, cause that honestly, that'd get me, that'd devastate me. I'd be like, I've lost $1,000. What do I do now?
It kills me. Because here, a farmhouse table should be $1,200. It doesn't matter if it's 4 foot, 5 foot, 6 foot, 7 foot. It should be $1,200. But here, I have to sell it like 6 foot, $600. 7 foot, $700. You want a bench with it, $800, because people just can't afford it. But if I know they're out of my area and they're not economically challenged, we'll just say that, then I can charge a little more.
I mean, I've even heard of like, because I have a couple of friends that have small businesses, especially artists and photographers. Like, those poor bastards, I use that word in the best way possible, but those poor bastards, like, there's a guy, he'll do a drawing, and then somebody be like, great, here's $5. It's like, no, this is a 16-inch by 16-inch portrait drawing of your face. You'd be an anime character. It's $150 easily, because it's also laminated with this $600 lamination machine that I got off of this garage sale. And they're like, no, that's way too much. And now he's just wasted time and money. Or you get the photographer that charges $50 an hour, and the Karen's like, oh, I can do that with my smartphone. And then the phone lopsided and the lighting's shit. But I mean, your stuff, like, you can try it, but then you got to buy the tools, and that's a nightmare. And then you buy the wood. You get, like you said with the Lowe's, like the Lowe's wood, it's like, I've done framing on my house that I'm renovating, 10 2x4s that are straight, or I mean close to it. Impossible. Can't do it. Absolutely not
if you
happening.
don't have a planer, like I have to send Lowe's lumber through a planer 5 times just to get it to where it's remotely good. I mean, it's ridiculous.
It really is. And I mean, and that's if you don't mess up your cut, because if you cut too short and then you've got that little half of an inch space in between where you can just push and pull through it and it's just not even knocking, and now you got to go back to Lowe's and get another piece of wood. So yours is definitely more of a controllable business because you actually have to have time, talent, and resources. But for these other people, they have to put up with some of the most just unsuitable, unruly customers. And I'm sure you've even yourself have gotten this too, because I guarantee you had 100 messages where like $600 for a table. I'll just go buy a $20 table from Walmart that folds up, and then you're like, well, do that in the first place.
Or
like, this
they'll message me. Yeah, they'll message me and ask me, how much for 2 end tables, and I'll be like $200, $250 if you want me to deliver, and they're like, okay, I'll get back to you, and I know I'm never going to hear from them again. And I don't care to ever hear from them again because people don't understand.
They're getting
to Lowe's. Yeah, they're getting a good deal. I go to Lowe's, I get the material. I come back, I cut every single board down. I trim the edges, everything. I sand every single board, put every board together, use pocket holes and screws. Screws are $25 for 250 screws. I do that. Then I sand it down again. Then I fill in all my, discrepancies with wood filler. Then I sand it again. Then I paint it. Then I let it set. Then I paint it again. Then I put a top on. I stain that top. Let it set. Stain it again. Let it set. Then I put a clear coat on it. I mean, the process is grueling. I should be charging $400.
Not that you should. It's like everyone else does.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not that you should. It's not that. I mean, because of course you do deserve more. It's not that you deserve more. It literally costs that, and your market's just not, like, you'd never make it. Like, I mean, and that's a thing, like, starting out with a small business. If you're like Walmart or something, you can't haggle with Walmart. You're like, even if you get like a bumped table, it's like, hey, I'd like to buy this table, but it's damaged. Can I get like $10 off of it? It's like, no, buy it as it is. Well, it's damaged. Well, then go buy a not damaged one. But I want, you'll kick rocks outside of the Walmart with either a undamaged table or the damaged table you bought for the same price. But you could easily just be like, this has been a hard month. I just want to make a sale, just something to boost it up. And then someone could, like, not trying to take advantage of it because they don't even know, but they could message you like, hey, can I have this table? $200. $75. And you're just like, just this once. And then.
Yeah, I actually had something like that happen. This lady, she saw one of my posts on Facebook, and I had 2 end tables for $200, and she was local. And I'm doing hers right now. I'm about to finish them. Hopefully they'll be done tomorrow. But she was like, "Will you do 175?" And I was like, "Yeah," because she messaged me 2 times already, and I was like, "Yeah, 175, that's fine." She lives 15 minutes down the road, so I mean, I'm not going to lose anything, and I'm gonna. Hopefully, I'll gain a new client, like a return customer. So,
yeah, because I mean, at that point, you've got to have matching sets, because stuff's got to be matching. Because again, you're sitting in your house all day. You can't go to the amusement park or to the park at all. So, looking around and looking at your Alan Roth, your MDMA, Alan Roth, and stuff. MDMA, just good Lord. What's the fake wood again?
Oh, MDF.
MDF. I said MDMA. I was like,
I call it sawdust and glue.
Yeah. Your sawdust and glue that did cost $300. Because again, they'll sell you that sawdust glue for $300. But once you like feel it, you set something on it, and it thumps with like real wood, like how real wood thumps. you can't replace that. So yeah, you're probably going to get a return customer.
Yeah. And they buy the end tables, then they sit around and they're like, oh man, a coffee table would go good with this. So then I got to give them a coffee table. Well, sell them a coffee table. Oh, what happened? Sorry.
I know you're fine, dude. You're fine.
Sorry about that. My video was going off.
No, you're perfectly fine, man. Didn't affect me whatsoever. But yeah. So what are you hoping? Like, what's in game for the high top hickory?
You know what? I would really, really like for this to become more than just a hobby. I would really like for it to be something that I could do full time because I just enjoy it so much. And I'm really tired of going to work.
Oh my God.
Making other people successful or making other people money, you know?
Mm-hmm.
When I could easily be making myself money.
Right. I mean, and again, this is another coronavirus thing. People have easily found out. I mean, what are we at right now? 30% unemployment with 8% speculating that that's not coming back. I mean, and then Amazon's almost got FAA clearance to fly drones in major cities.
Yeah.
In all honesty, how close are we to just everything's automated and not only do the prices stay the same, we're not getting the $2,000 a month. I mean, again, Andrew Yang, a year ago, let's give everybody $2,000 a month because all the jobs are going to disappear. Everybody called him an idiot. He's now the smartest man in the world and could easily win New York City's mayorship. Because when's that going to happen? Because it's coming for us any minute now. Like, I don't know what job you do, but I mean, what job do you do, if you don't mind? You got to name the company, but just like your position and what it is.
I don't know. I work for the college that I graduated from. I'm a veterans academic advisor.
That's an algorithm.
Yeah,
that's
well,
10 years.
Yeah, I would much rather do woodwork.
Exactly. Yeah, and you enjoy it because you're not sitting with a suit and tie or a collared shirt and tie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just there's these office jobs. I can't stand office jobs. Like the cubicle, worst thing in the world. Like, and like nobody spends any time doing anything. Like study after study has shown anyone that works an office cubicle job needs 20 hours. But you've got to be there for 40 because then you look lazy. And if you say, well, I can just do this in 20, the boss will literally tell you, find something else to do because upper management will replace you with someone who will sit there for the extra 20 hours.
Yep. But I mean, I'm following people on TikTok who are selling stickers and they quit their full-time job.
Oh, yeah.
That's how much money they're making.
Oh, I love those stickers and enamel pens. I love them.
Yeah. And everyone loves them.
Oh, they'll do it.
Every day I see someone on TikTok that I follow quitting their job.
Oh, my God. I want that so bad. Like.
Every day.
Oh.
Now, I will tell you this. I don't care about how many followers I have on TikTok. That does nothing to me. What matters to me is how much business I'm doing, because if I'm not doing business, then there's no point. But I can't wait till I hit like that 20K mark so I can kind of quit focusing on the hashtags and stuff, you know, and those 20K will help me build up the rest of my platform.
Yeah.
Because that stuff's tiring.
It is. But you got to put in the work because your following is in direct correlation to how much business you get.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I really need to focus on reaching more West Virginia people on TikTok, you know, because that's my clientele.
Yeah,
I'm shipping right now.
Some West Virginia hashtag.
Oh yes, I've tried it out too. It works pretty good.
Yeah. Now I've heard, like, especially with your delivering thing, there are a lot of like DoorDash-esque apps where you can like hire people with box trucks. Because I know my friend, he had a box truck, and he would go to like conventions during the weekend, and even himself, he's like, hey, they're looking to pay $500-600 for me to ship an entire 6-foot box truck worth of stuff, like kind of like a DoorDash for moving companies, where it either be a car or a small motorcycle, a couple of end tables. So I mean, is that something that you could see yourself maybe using if it was like worth it?
Yes, I actually looked into some companies like that. I did some research, and I did a fake order. Like, I just put in a fake bid for someone to transport something to, I think, Texas or somewhere, and the price wasn't ridiculous. So I think that's something I would look into. The only thing is, you kind of gotta watch out, because they are contractors. So, you know, it's not their piece of furniture that they just spent like 14 hours building. So, you know, they're probably going to throw it into the back of a truck and not ratchet strap it or anything like that, and just head down the road at 80 mile an hour.
Because I've heard horror stories where like people have rented out rooms to Airbnb, and then the guy just refused to leave, and then he had to evict them, and Airbnb is just like, ha ha, that's not our room, bitch. We don't have to worry about you. It's like you're a contractor. You have no rights. So go deal with it yourself, because we're over here making money, and that's not this vagrant's not our problem.
Yeah, I would hate for someone to come to my house, pick up a farmhouse dining room table to deliver to Georgia or somewhere, and then halfway down the road they're like, "Man, that's a really nice table. I think we'll just take it and put it in our kitchen."
Yeah.
It's like crap.
I mean, because they could, and I mean, even if the company was like, well, yeah, no, of course we're going to help you, Mr. Kennedy, but it's going to take about 2 months, and that guy's like, hey, where the fuck is my table? It's like, it got stolen. He's like, well, I want my money back.
Yep. If I could make enough money, like say a year down the road, I've got a little bit larger following or something, I would love to build furniture and deliver it myself. Like if it was on the East Coast or something, and I could make a day trip out of it or something, or a couple days, and as long as the money is enough,
Yeah, that's wasted time, though. I mean, if you're up to that, if you're up to where you could drive to maybe Georgia, Rhode Island, wherever, it's like that's too much time.
Yeah, unless it's like a really big order, like end tables, coffee table, dining room table, like a whole set, all at one time.
Yeah. I mean, but even then, that's you now talking. A year from you now may see that, well, that takes care of the month, but I can also get the next 5 months through the rest of this month.
Yeah, that would be a dream. That's really what I'm trying to work toward.
Mm-hmm. Like right now, even myself right now, I'm just like, right now, me just wants to be able to pay his bills with a little bit of little discretionary income. 5 years from now, me may want to take over the fucking world. I don't know where I would.
Yeah, like I feel you. I mean, I feel like TikTok has been a big help. I mean, that's a good platform to have if you're responsible, and if you just got to be very cautious on TikTok, especially the more followers you get. I have seen a drastic change in my comment section from 100 followers to 16,000.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always someone hating on you.
It's a cesspool, I'm sure.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. And it's mostly 60-year-old guys who are, see, this is what I don't want to, yes, I do not want to be the 60-year-old man retired on his couch from a job that he hated going to every single day, and now he's taking his hate out on the world.
How dare you chase your dreams, you son of a bitch?
Yeah, it's like, how dare you try to live the American dream, you arrogant son of a bitch.
I suffered my whole life in the factory, lost a finger, and you have the balls to dare think that you're better. I mean, just
spent 65
imagine.
years waking up every morning at 4 o'clock to go to a job I absolutely despised for a boss who didn't care if I died tomorrow. You know what?
And that's if he just had the one job. He might have had 2 jobs.
In America, we are raised by our parents be settling for a job so they can have health benefits. They have that cushion of having that job. When in reality, that company could care less about them. Society could care less.
I remember working to a company that I won't name because I may want them to sponsor me one day. But and one of the newer employees died in a car accident on the way to work, and they had a picture of him in the break room for a week, and then he never existed.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you had 6 or 7 people, and God forbid one of them died, he'd have his own doorway or hallway or so. You'd be like, never forget Billy. We'll never forget you, Billy. But this giant corporation with billions of employees, I wouldn't say billions, couple million employees, it's like, okay, cool, we got another position open, I guess. It's kind of sad, rest in peace, but we got shit to do, money to make.
And you know what? People will set and make themselves sick thinking of ways to quit a job that they hate. And as soon as they quit it, they already have someone else hired. They don't care. It's not worth making yourself, miserable over.
They're not going to miss me. They're going to be like, wow, that was kind of ballsy of Brock there to just leave the job, right? He'll be back.
Yeah. They hang on that too. He'll be back. We have nothing to worry about.
No.
I worked a job for this job where I made really good money for the area I live in, but I left my house at 6:30 every morning and got home at 9 at night.
Oh my God, I couldn't even fucking imagine. It's
not worth it.
No,
and there's no way. Miserable.
I mean, and at least back then, the people had I'm sure they had really good food. It was probably grade A organic shit, but now we've got all this processed stuff and chemicals and preservatives and on top of that and the stress. It's they could make it because they had the stress, but they at least had the definitely healthier than our foods. Their dollar store price stuff is probably way healthier. It'd probably be $20 today. But I mean, it'd be certified USDA organic, no pesticides, no GMOs, just it'd be this is the bare minimum, but we'd be that's a $20 head of lettuce.
Yeah. And no, it's or I can go get this Big Mac for $5.
Oh my God. It just, that pitiful little hamburger slice.
Oh man, I'm telling you, it's messed up.
It is, but I mean, isn't that honestly how it should be? Just instead of 5 or 6 corporations to rule them all, just be 100,000 tiny little businesses. I mean,
I think that's what TikTok's going to have to offer too, because Etsy is one of the biggest platforms, for a small business, but Shopify is getting ready to take over that spot.
Yeah,
but and even push Etsy off the map.
Yeah, even Amazon did that for a bit, but you have so many people. It's hey, they found out that my enamel pen sold really well, and I could make $10,000 a month. And now they're selling enamel pens at a 50% reduced cost. And I'm oh, that's a dirty little, that's bad.
And it's identical to mine.
Yeah, exactly. Same quality, same distributor. I'm actually getting, same manufacturer. I'm actually getting delays on my orders because they're running through 50,000 where I'd only get 500.
Yep. See, they can take, they do it every day. Hobby Lobby, they sell the same stuff that I make for like a fraction of the cost, but it's plastic and MDF board, and I mean, if you go to Hobby Lobby and pick up one of their end tables, you can sling it up to the ceiling. If you pick up one of mine, you're not hardly getting it off the ground.
No, not solid wood. No,
and mine will last at least 50 years.
Yeah,
at least.
And it's in their best interest to sell a crappy product that looks pretty, because when it breaks, it's like, I really like that coffee table. I guess I have to go back to Hobby Lobby and get a new one.
Yeah, because I only paid $35 for it. So, I mean.
Right. And I mean, hell, yours, like, I know people that have wood-made tables that are family heirlooms that are like, they're still there. Like, you may just need to sand it down a little bit because it's kind of like frayed. But, I mean, it's still a solid piece of wood that ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, everything that my dad has ever built, I'm 27, and I'd say the oldest thing that he built now would probably be like 18 or 19 years old, and that's a table he built for my grandparents, and it's still there. It's solid as ever, and it really it's aged very well. I mean, you can't even tell that it's that old.
Like, reclaimed barn wood is another thing. Like, you have barns from like the 1950s, 1930s. Like, I have a house now built in, I think it was built in like early 19 something. The foundation is original. Like, we've got the metal kicks under it to kind of like help support it a bit, but it's got this huge, like maybe a foot thick in each direction beam at the bottom. That's $10,000. Like,
yeah,
I mean, I don't really know. Like, it's like 50 feet or something. I don't, like, again, I'm shit with numbers and measurements, but it is a huge beam of maybe 100-year-old wood that's not dry rotted or anything. It's just aged, and people pay money for that stuff. Like, if you made a table out of that, the history, the essence, because something that old has an essence to it.
Yeah,
it's incalculable.
And people pay good money for that stuff.
Oh yeah,
the primitive stuff, it was in style for a while, but farmhouse took over. I mean, hardly. I mean, not in the area I'm in. It varies everywhere you go, but primitive is not in style here anymore. It was for probably 2 years, maybe, if that.
Now, what is primitive? Like, what would be the difference between that and rust?
Like barnwood stuff, like
okay.
Rustic's very similar. I mean, you know, you got like uneven edges, nails showing. You know, you can see nail heads and stuff. That stuff doesn't matter. Yeah, you need to the bearded palette woodworker or something. I'll send you his name. Check him out. He does a lot of that stuff.
Is that the guy that's shirtless with the apron? I think I do follow him. Yes, got him.
Yeah, he did that because he wasn't making fun of, but he was intimidating the naked blacksmith. Who was a big guy on TikTok.
I follow him too.
Yep. Yeah, so he did that. He did like a sawdust type deal where he was like vacuuming up sawdust or something, and it caught on. So then he made like several videos like that, you know, where he was in a woodworking apron.
Oh yeah, like Bert Kreischer. Like, he took his shirt off one time, and now he's the guy that takes his shirt off.
Yeah, I mean, it's
gone thick.
It's like I'm the DIYer, you know? It's like, that's what I do. If I make a video that's not a DIY video, it goes nowhere. If I make a video that's a DIY video, it's everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I can post a video. If I post a DIY video when we get done with this, when I wake up in the morning, it'll be everywhere. Like, one time, I posted a video at 9 o'clock, and I woke up the next morning. I got 3,000 followers overnight off this video. And, like, I tried to reply to all the comments. I couldn't even go through all the comments.
Dude, I wouldn't even imagine going through that. Now, you thought about trying a Patreon?
Explain.
So you don't even know about Patreon. Okay. So Patreon is, woo, this is going to be exciting because this is kind of my philosophy. Like, you have like people with like 20, 30, 40,000 followers. And again, for me, if I made $3,000 a month, I'd be like, good. No more followers, no more subscribers. I'm gonna keep you guys good where it's at. So Patreon is pretty much where you charge a subscription fee. So again, you could charge $1. And if you got 3,000 of your 6,000 guys, they pay $1, all 3,000 of them a month, and they get like special curated content, like live streams and stuff like that. So have you ever thought anything like that? Because again, 16,000. If you got 1,600 people for $1 a month, that's, I mean, you might be able to quit your job.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's close to what I'm making a month. But no, I've never thought about that because I didn't know nothing about it.
Oh yeah, like it's almost mandatory. Like for content creators, like I know there's a lot of podcasts. Like people, once they get like 5,000 subscribers, they're like, support me on Patreon. And like, cause used to be like, oh, you're doing this for money now. You're a sellout. You're disgusting. But now it's almost like you're not taken seriously unless you have, like, cause you can go to people's TikTok pages and they'll have like a link tree. Their Patreon's going to be the number 2 link. Like, cause again, that's where it's at. But I mean, some people don't even charge $1. Like some people charge $5, $10 with 200, 300,000 subs. And if a percentage of those subscribe for the extra content, that money, like.
So it's a platform? Is it an app or is it just like a platform or?
Yeah, it's just a Patreon app. You just go ahead and just, like, people will have their own accounts for their subscriberships and they'll be able to look at your videos, and then you'll have your business account where you'll be able to post that stuff. So like you can have like, guys, I'll be building this table on Saturday. If you're on my Patreon, then you can join us. If not, then maybe think about subscribing. So it's
That's
just
a great idea.
Yeah, no, like there's this one person, she does Etch-a-Sketches, and and there's other people that they like shiny hunt Pokemon for hours on end, and that's part of their Patreon exclusive. And they just sit there and talk with the guest. And like, if you want like chatting, you can chat. And if you want to super chat, you send more money. So here's $10. And then my chat is like bold and like, you can't miss it. Like, it's literally like you pay to message me directly.
Wow.
So, I mean, yeah. Again, you can have people like ask questions. And I mean, if you did like $5 or $6, like used to like the YouTubers like Logan Paul and stuff, they do live streams. They charge like $10, $15. Kind of feel bad for a 15-year-old pay $15, $20 a month for that. But $1's nothing. $1 like,
yeah,
you can with $1.
Yeah. And now look at those guys.
Yeah. Oh God. Look, they're professional boxers. Like he's fighting Mayweather. He may fight what's that Scottish bastard's name? McGregor.
Oh, Conor McGregor? Yeah.
He called his wife a whore and could get away with it. He might fight Conor McGregor for 500, like, no, 50 mil.
But you know what? That goes to show you the power of social media.
Oh my God, it really does. Like a lot of people, I don't even know if they knew, because again, back then they were children, literal children. And now you have literal children making millions of dollars and renting out this third of a mansion in Los Angeles. Like, I'm from Ohio, but I'm hot and successful on TikTok. I'm going to go live in Los Angeles now.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. I don't know. I don't even know how much my life will change if I get to 100,000 subscribers.
I mean, just imagine. I mean, like, even now, like, the number one trending thing, small waist, pretty face, and a big bank. That's probably made hundreds of thousands of people's subscriberships. Like, they put out one video, it's just like, and subscribe to that for more content.
Yeah.
And it's like, not even the same content.
Yeah. It's like, probably posted to 100 videos because I was posting 3 a day, you know, so I could get on the FYP. And probably 10 to 15 went viral and got me 80% of my following.
Exactly. And that's all it takes. Like, yeah. I remember looking at some people's stuff, and I'm scrolling through 10,000, 5,000, 6,000, 2.2 million. It's like, what? 2.2, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
crazy.
It really is. Like, honestly, I think the end all be alls, the singularities of this like kind of new world we're headed off to, is going to be self-driving cars. Because if you got a self-driving box truck with a table, you can literally,
man.
Woo! I mean, regardless if it could just do it itself, but if you just have to sit in the driver's seat and maybe you can take a nap, because it would in no way, shape, or form would it be unbelievable to have a job in Atlanta, which for me is about 3-hour drive, sleep there and back, and then just do whatever else when I'm working or not working. I mean, my life would be set.
That would be so beneficial to me. That would open doors like never before.
Because you could be sitting there, hand on the wheel, looking up every now and then sketching plans for another table on your booklet.
Yeah,
messaging people for new stuff. So that time wouldn't be wasted time. I mean, you'd and you might be able to go places too.
Yeah. I mean, that would be great.
I follow a lot of van campers. Like,
yes, me too.
Woo! I low-key kind of want that bad though. Like, I kind of do.
Yeah. See, it's not doable for me because I would have to give up my hobby. There's no way I could do woodworking and do that.
But would you though? You could get one of those. You could get one of those 12-foot mover trucks. 6 feet is like. I mean, if you want a tiny house, you could just. Hell, not even 12 feet. Like you could get there's 20-foot trucks. You could get a full-on tractor trailer with a 50-foot trailer.
Yeah.
In all honesty, we wanted to go like completely buck wild. 25.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
If I get several super nice campers on TikTok from certain accounts that I follow, like dealership accounts for these, if I get TikTok famous, I know one that I am definitely going to get, and I might hit the road for a year. Because it's nicer than my house.
Oh yeah. Oh, and it's so small that it literally it's hard not to be nice.
Yeah. I mean,
think about
come a long way anyway.
And those could be more customers because I mean, how awesome would it be to open up and there'd be a mini farmhouse in the back of this van?
Yeah, that's great marketing too.
Mm-hmm.
See,
and I mean,
the thing is, my house is so full of stuff that I can't just build myself something, and market it. Right. I have to build it and then hope it sells, or wait until I get an order to build it. And that really holds me back because there's so much stuff I want to build, but I have nowhere to put it.
Right. And again, like you said, with your truck wanting to get an enclosed trailer, you can't just put that stuff outside.
Yeah, that's true. But maybe enclosed trailer, workshop, and then see where it goes from there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, I mean, the stuff that the shirts and stuff through that fundraiser thing, I mean, I've already sold probably 10 in the short amount of time that it's been on TikTok. So,
I mean, that's good. That's pretty good.
And it's a better option for me than a GoFundMe because I don't want to do a GoFundMe. This way, people are getting merchandise. They're getting something that they're buying.
You can do a GoFundMe with guarantees.
Well, yeah, that's true. I don't know. Maybe honestly, something to think of in the future.
Do whatever it takes. I mean, just don't. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even feel bad. Just make sure you come through with your promise.
Yeah.
I mean, if they get because if you have people buying shirts, that means that one, they have to be either they're buying the shirt for the sole purpose of supporting you, or they're like, well, this shirt's not hideous, so yeah, sure, why not? But I mean,
Yeah.
if they're just given the option of just giving money, like a lot of people, like churches get away with that stuff. Churches promise a church promises nothing, and they give you a silver plate, and you're like, yeah, sure, yeah, whatever, fam. I may be an alcoholic wife beater, but I'm still giving my 10% with no promises that anything will change or happen. So I mean,
that is very much true. You are right, 100%.
So I mean, honestly, just do whatever. Like, do anything with social media, as many platforms as you can get on. Do as much as you can with money stuff. Just throw the net out there, and if it gets nothing, it's like, so does a lot of other people get nothing. And some people even get worse than nothing. They get all the money, and then they can't follow through. Like No Man's Sky or Cyberpunk 2077. Those guys got all the hype, all the clout, and then tanked.
Yeah.
So I mean,
but I kind of did I did the research, looked at the one, that I thought was affordable, took a picture of it, showed it, and I was like, I'll do an update, you can see as I go along. All the way up until, I get it. So hopefully that's doable. I think it is. I see so many people on TikTok who are just like, they want to help.
Of course. Yeah. And again, there's so many people, it doesn't even have to be like a significant help. Like it could literally be 1,000 people want to give you $1.
I don't even need that. I set up my goal and it's 150 people out of 16,000.
Yeah. Any company would look at that and be like, fire the guy that gave us this dumb idea. But that's what you need. That's life-changing.
Yeah. I mean, 150 out of 16,000.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. That's nothing.
No, absolutely nothing. But it gets you to where you can be. I mean, it literally it gets you.
And it'll make things so much easier.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it makes me feel better that they're getting something, like obviously people are liking it because, they're all for it. I've got positive responses. I haven't checked my TikTok since we've been doing the podcast, but I'm sure when I do go check, it's going to be like hundreds of comments, hundreds of likes. Who knows?
I had I had this one, this girl, I can't remember her name. I wish I could shout her out because I'm using her video. But she's like, I bought all these dice. This is definitely a suitable substitute for love. And then I comment, and she sounded like Morty from Rick and Morty, and she was a female, kind of like curly hair. I said, who gender flipped Morty? And then now, every day, I'm getting 20 or 30 people that are liking and or commenting on this. I'm like, guys, this is not even me. It's not even my own video. And I'm kind of overwhelmed because Facebook, if I got 20 likes on a meme that took an hour to find on Reddit, I'd feel like the dog diggity fucking man. But that's 20 people. Over here, I'm 100, 200 likes. And I'm like, fuck. And it's not like I've gotten any followers off of it or anything, but because of course I haven't. But at the same time, I'm like, why are these people messaging me? It's not even that funny. But it's literally that there's so many people that they're either honestly laughing at it or they're just, yeah, cool, that was funny.
Yeah. Which they're probably genuinely laughing because if I scroll through TikTok and there's something on there that if I watch the whole entire video and it's just I'm waiting for something big and there's nothing big, I'm not liking it. So yeah. I think that's the difference than most social media platforms. I think if people like your video, they really got something out of it,
Yeah.
People aren't on TikTok I don't really know why people are on TikTok. I think it's just it's a time killer.
It's like that old Key and Peele sketch. It's like, how's the plane flying? It's like, we don't ask questions. we just soar on the wings of Olympus, and it's magic. I don't know. Air
and that's
pressure.
exactly what's happening.
We made up some bullshit of what's happening, but we really don't know. And we're just questioning it until it falls and stops working.
Yeah. And it's like people have forgotten about Instagram. They forgot about Facebook.
Right.
I mean, I just use Facebook to list my products. That's it.
Not anymore, you don't.
No. And I mean, Instagram, I've kind of neglected it. And I've spent the last 2 years figuring out the algorithm for it and how to like really thrive on it.
Honestly, there was no discoverability on Instagram and Facebook. It was all just your people.
Yeah.
The discoverability is non-existent. I can't even call it dog shit because dog shit, at least it's there. Like, you literally have to have something for me to call it dog shit. It's non-existent. But TikTok, like, again, I find you. I find like 5 guys from England. I find a dude from Venezuela or something. Like, I mean, everywhere. Just, I found this, like, an actual brother and sister. Their grandfather's like a professional sword maker in Japan, and they're just sitting here just chopping bottles in half. And I'm like, I like that shit. I'd have never known about them.
Yeah.
Except for this, like, this drug-induced accessibility and discoverability from TikTok is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it is. And it makes the world so much smaller.
It really does.
It's like, you know, everything is right there at your fingertips. And it's crazy because there's thousands of woodworkers on TikTok who are way better than me. But I have like this loyal following of people who are just like constantly commenting on my videos and saying how helpful they are and how good I'm doing and stuff. And, you know, and I'm just like, you know, I'm intermediate at best.
Yeah.
But they act like it's just the best, which I'm appreciative of.
Yeah. Oh, no, absolutely. I mean, I can only imagine. Like, I mean, once I get to where I want to be follower-wise, like, I'm probably going to want to answer every comment too. But, I mean, it's almost going to be impossible to do.
It's getting harder and harder every day.
Yeah.
I'm getting like 1 to 2,000 followers every day. And I can't keep up with the comments. I can't like every comment. I can't reply.
Yeah.
I can barely answer the messages.
Yeah. Well, all right, man. Hey, look, it has been fantastic having you on. An actual pleasure. Let everybody know, how do they find you? Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all HighTopHickory. I'll be the first one to come up. I'm the only one to come up.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, thank you for getting on. Again, man, thank you so much, and I'll definitely be hitting you up again. I would like, because I'm working on a studio, and I would really like a table. But and another quick question: have you ever thought about doing epoxy work?
Yes, epoxy's next on my list. I want to learn resin so bad.
Oh yeah, because I mean, I saw this one thing where this dude bought spent casings at a rifle range, polished them up, just woo.
Yep,
I mean,
it's super popular, and I've got to learn it to stay in the game, you know.
Oh, absolutely. That's how you get to that mastery level. Well, again, man, HighTopHickory, it's been great talking to you, man. Thank you so much, everybody. Remember, like, subscribe, and then follow our friend here over on his TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, and we'll talk to you all later. Bye.